Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasura Sena Romanchakamba Shutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvinda Shri Radhika Madhavayor Para Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Nana Pratikshana Swadana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvinda Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Vardhari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Vardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Girari Radha Girari Radhe Jaya Radha Girari Radha Girari Radhe Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishpad Paramhamsa Pravijikacharya Sotara Sata CC-Adi Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON founder Charya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON founder Charya Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vispad Paramahamsa Prabhujakacharya Sottara Sata Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Papagan ki Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhani ke Shri Vrindavan Dham ke Navadvip Mayapur Dham ke Jagannath Puri Dham ke Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ke Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ke Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nice. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Madalaya Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaur Vani Pacharna Nivishishta Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So today we're going to pray that a little nectar can come forth from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Caitanya Mangala, and some other Goswami told pastimes. Let's see what happens. So this is Adi Lila, text number 40. Chapter 4, text number 40. Thank you. Say, Dware, Achandale, Kirtana, Sanchare, Nama, Prema, Mala, Ganti, Parayala, Samsare. Say Dwari Anjala. Say, how's it go? Say Dwari Anjala. My mind's going blank. Say Dwara Achandale, Kirtana Sanchare. Say Dwara Achandale, Kirtana Sanchare. Nama Prema Malaganti Paraila Samsare. Sedware Achandale Kirtana Sanchare. Nama Prema Malaganti Paraila Samsare. I'm not satisfied with that tune. That's not how I usually chant Bengali. It's not coming to me, though. Do you know Bengali? Go ahead. We'll try and follow you. Setware Achandale Kirtana Sanchare. Nama Prema Mala Ganti Paraila Samsare. Sedwari Achandale. Sedwari Achandale Kirtana Sanchare. Nama Prema Mala Ganti Paraila Samsare. Sedhara Anchadale Kirtana Sanchare. Nama prema mala ganti paraila samsare. Sadhare anchandale kirtana sanchare. Nama prema mala ganti paraya samsare. Say dware, by that, chandale, even among the chandalas, kirtana, the chanting of the holy names, sanchare, he infuses, nama, of the holy names, prema, and of love of God, mala, a garland, ganti, stringing together, parayala, he put it on, samsare, the whole material world. Speaking about Lord Chaitanya, thus he spread kirtan even among the untouchables. He wove a wreath of the holy name and prema with which he garlanded the entire world. Please repeat. Thus he spread kirtan even among the untouchables. He wove a wreath of the holy name and prema with which he garlanded the entire world. Thus, this is the verse before, with two intentions the Lord appeared with his devotees and tasted the nectar of prema with the congregational chanting of the holy name. So he's offering all of us a garland of Krishna prema. Where is the garland? No mercy for the fallen. Man. No mercy. Next verse. In this way, assuming the sentiment of a devotee, he preached devotional service while practicing it himself. Please repeat. In this way, assuming the sentiment of a devotee, he preached devotional service while practicing it himself. It's a wonderful purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Rupa Goswami met Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayag, Allahabad, he offered his respectful obeisances by submitting that Lord Chaitanya was more magnanimous than any avatar of Krishna because he was distributing love of Krishna. All together now. Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tashe Namaha. His mission was to enhance love of Godhead. In the human form of life, the highest achievement is to attain the platform of love of Godhead. Nothing better. The highest. Lord Chaitanya did not invent a system of religion as people sometimes assume. Religious systems are meant to show the existence of God. So that's Dharma, religious systems. They're meant to show the existence of God, who's then generally approached as the cosmic order supplier. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental mission is to distribute love of Godhead to everyone. Anyone who accepts God as the Supreme can take to the process of chanting Hare Krishna and become a lover of God. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous. This munificent broadcasting of devotional service is possible only for Krishna himself. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is taught the philosophy of surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who surrendered to the Supreme can make further progress by learning to love Him. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement propagated by Lord Chaitanya is especially meant for those who are cognizant of the presence of the Supreme Godhead, the ultimate controller of everything. His mission is to teach people how to dovetail themselves into engagements of transcendental loving service. He is Krishna, teaching his own service from the position of a devotee. The Lord's acceptance of the role of a devotee in the eternal form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is another of the Lord's wonderful features. A conditioned soul cannot reach the absolute personality of Godhead by his imperfect endeavor. Therefore, it's wonderful that Lord Sri Krishna, in the form of Lord Gauranga, has made it easy for everyone to approach him. Srup Damodar Goswami has described Lord Chaitanya as Krishna himself, with an attitude, the attitude of Radharani, or a combination of Radha and Krishna. The intention of Lord Chaitanya is to taste Krishna's sweetness in transcendental love. You know this verse, Radha Krishna Paniyar Bhaviktir Ladani Shakti Rasma. Go ahead, give him a mic.
Radha Krishna Pranaya Bikutir Ladani Shakti Rasma Ekatmanav Abhibhuviparadhe Abhedam Katautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatamadona Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhava Judisavalitang Naumi Krishna Swarupam.
This is the first chapter of Adi Lila, text number 5. I believe this is the verse Srup Damodar composed and Prabhupada was referring to. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Who's this from? Which one? Wow! Who needs a drop when you can get lots of mercy? Thank you. So he's Krishna himself, appearing with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani. So, he does not care to think of himself as Krishna because he wants the position of Radharani. We should remember this. A class of so-called devotees called the Nadiya Nagaris or Gaura Nagaris pretend that they have the sentiment of gopis towards Lord Chaitanya, but they do not realize that he placed himself not as the enjoyer, Krishna, but as the enjoyed, as the devotee of Krishna. The conceptions of unauthorized persons pretending to be bona fide have not been accepted by Lord Chaitanya. Presentations such as those of the Gauranga are only disturbances to the sincere execution of the mission of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is undoubtedly Krishna himself, and he's always non-different from Srimati Radharani. But the emotion technically called Vipralamba Bhava, which the Lord adopted for confidential reasons, should not be disturbed in the name of service. A mundaner should not unnecessarily intrude into the affairs of transcendence and thereby displease the Lord. One must always be on guard against this sort of devotional anomaly. A devotee is not meant to create disturbances to Krishna. As Srila Rupa Goswami has explained, devotional service is anukulyena, or favorable to Krishna. Acting unfavorably towards Krishna is not devotion. Kamsa was the enemy of Krishna. He always thought of Krishna, but he thought of him as an enemy. One should always avoid such unfavorable so-called service. Lord Chaitanya has accepted the role of Radharani, and we should support that position, as Srup Damodar did in the Gambhira, the room where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri. He always reminded Lord Chaitanya of Radha's feelings of separation as they're described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya appreciated his assistance. But the Gaura Nagaris who placed Lord Chaitanya in the position of enjoyer, themselves as his enjoyed, are not approved by Lord Chaitanya or by Lord Chaitanya's followers. Instead of being blessed, the foolish imitators are left completely apart. Their concoctions are against the principles of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The doctrine of transcendental enjoyment by Krishna cannot be mixed up with the doctrine of transcendental feeling of separation from Krishna in the role of Radharani. Sincerely, let's pray for some mercy, please. Amagyanatimarandasya ginanjana salakaya chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shita Padikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sayitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karana Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakopa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Padithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It would be very easy, the temptation is there, to elaborate on this purport given by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. It's a very deep purport. Vipralamba Seva is the highest expression of love possible for Krishna, and Srimati Radharani has the highest pitch, the highest manifestation of that love for Krishna in separation. Madan Maha Vakya Mahabhava. I think that's the topmost realm of Mahabhava. Srimati Radharani and Lord Chaitanya, they exhibited it. Nobody else can do so. So Krishna comes with two reasons. He has his internal, personal reason. He has his external, magnificent or munificent reason. Thank goodness He wants to give us love for Krishna. The impossible dream for the Nitya Bada. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, it can be easily achieved. Like George Harrison had one song, it takes so long to see you, my Lord, to be with you, to feel you, to serve you. Prabhupada said, not so long. One life. So because we get caught up in the identification of the body and mind, we take this all to be so important. And although the older the body gets, the quicker the time goes, still seems like a long time. But no, this is nothing to be being offered that which is inconceivable to the conditioned soul. What conditioned soul knows that love of God is the highest perfection of human form of life? You can't achieve anything greater. Not dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. Not even moksha. Not even living on the same planet, having a form similar to the Lord, opulence like the Lord. No. None of these mokshas, they even hold a fig to the Vraja Prem. The Prem, the love for Krishna that the Vrajvasis have, especially the Gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. So we're very fortunate that Lord Chaitanya came to give us the holy names. Did you know that Srimati Radharani has a mantra? I believe the Lila is that Durvasa Muni gave her a mantra that whenever she chants that mantra, Krishna cannot help but come to her. She can force him to come by the chanting of this mantra. I don't know what that mantra is, but he, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, gave us the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When chanted with service, inclined senses, purified, spiritualized, what to speak of spiritual senses, then the Lord is present. Even if apparently not, He's always there with His devotee. The name of Krishna is more merciful than Krishna Himself, according to Rupa Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya has given us. It's not that the holy names aren't available at any time in material creation, existence, etc., or any other Kali Yuga by a Chaitanya avatar. But when the avatari, Krishna Himself, comes and gives us the Maha Mantra, He brings the Krishna Prem and enthuses it. Enthuses those names. It's the same names Radha and the Gopis chant, Krishna chants, the Brajvasis chant in Vrindavan. That's descended by the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So this, He has come and shared with us causeless mercy. And although it's said the main reason why the Lord appears is for the benefit of His devotees. He appears to soothe them. They anxiously want His service. They want His company. He satisfies that aspect, but personally, more than anything, He wants to taste the love that Srimati Radharani has for Him, the happiness she experiences in that loving service, and the qualities within Himself that attract her to Him. So there are some pastimes that are shared with us that give us some idea. In the Madhya Lila, chapter 25, text 271, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, the pastimes of Lord Krishna are the essence of all nectar. And that nectar is flowing in hundreds of rivers in all directions. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are an eternal reservoir, and one is advised to let his mind swim like a swan on this transcendental lake. So I hope to share some Leelas, Krishna Leelas, that turn into Gaura Lila. I'm going to begin with Caitanya Mangala. It's written by Lochan Das Thakur. He's the disciple of Narahari Sarkara, who, if memory serves me correctly, like Kiba Naraha, how does it? Kiba Hari Kori Chamaradulaya. And the artik described by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narahari is there fanning the transcendental form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's Madhumati, Gopi, a Sakhi in Vrindavan, associate of Srimati Radharani's. And he's the only devotee, if memory serves me correctly, that Lord Chaitanya would allow to glorify him as Krishna. Anybody else, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. He didn't want to hear it. It disturbed his mood of a devotee. But prem is a wonderful thing. It captures the Lord, it controls the Lord. And that was a devotee who got to worship Him in that way. Now, Narada Muni, such a pivotal devotee in our disciplic succession, such a important spiritual master. He plays a large part of this enactment of Krishna Lila, Gaura Lila that I'll share with you, describing the descent, the cause of the descent of Krishna as Lord Chaitanya. Near the end of Dwapara Yuga, he saw that all the conditioned souls were falling quickly, more and more into Maya. And he was highly distressed. Those who don't have love for Krishna, sometimes we might get a glimpse. Jayapataka Swami shared with us that he one time told Srila Prabhupada, when I see these people suffering, it makes me so unhappy. I want to share compassion with them. And Srila Prabhupada said, sometimes, why not always? So one who has love can always feel that, because it's part of his love for Krishna. Krishna Chaitanya, they want the whole universe, all jivas in the universe, to become Krishna conscious, servants of Krishna. And when they see the conditioned souls going the opposite way, they're highly distressed. They truly are disturbed. So what to do? So he thought, let me go to Dwarka and have association with Krishna. Let me take shelter of him. Let me pray to him. So before he arrives, Krishna had spent the night with Satyabhama. This Caitanya Mangala gives different angles of vision, sometimes mind-blowing, but Krishna is not stereotyped. He doesn't fit in the little tiny box of our concept, our understanding. Generally, we hear he separates inconceivably, but simultaneously into so many forms, 16,108, spends the time with each of the queens every night, and then goes to the Raj Sabha in the morning. But this night, it's described, he spent the night with Satyabhama, then he came to Rukmini in the morning. She heard he's coming, she got the musicians, they started playing wonderful music. She cleaned the room, her chambers are spotlessly clean, but she personally cleaned everything, put on her nicest clothes, and Krishna comes. She takes his feet, places them on her breast, and she begins crying. Krishna asks, why are you crying? Are you upset because I spent the night with Satyabhama? You're not still thinking about those jokes that I played on you, saying you should have married Shishupal, etc.? What's wrong? He said, you'll never understand, my Lord. Even though your lotus feet are right here in my hands, on my breast, I know soon enough, very soon, they'll be gone, and you'll go elsewhere. And I'm crying, thinking in this way, feeling that separation. But you'd really have to understand. To understand this, you'd have to taste the love that Srimati Radharani has for you. She truly imbibes love for you and understands completely this mood of vipralamba bhava, love and separation. Krishna asked her, what are you saying? There's something I don't have? Something I don't understand? I must have this priceless jewel. And right then, Narada Muni came in. That broke the conversation. They welcome him, they worship him. Narada Muni's in great anxiety. He tells them, Kali Yuga is going to be so dark, so fallen, so miserable. What can be done? What can I do? What can you do to help the fallen conditioned souls? And he said, funny you should ask. Rukmini and I were just discussing that there's something I don't possess. And that's the love of my devotee for me. The love of Radha for me. And I've decided that I will descend in Kali Yuga as a Brahmin, son of a Brahmin, crest jewel of the Brahmins, in a golden form, taking on the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani, so that I can achieve, so I can taste, I can realize what Rukmini has, what Srimati Radharani has, what my devotees have, this love for my lotus feet, this separation they feel for service to my lotus feet. Sometimes even when I'm there with them. And in doing so, I will share this nectar with everybody. I'm going to freely give Krishna Prem to everyone. And then he showed Narada Muni his form as Gauranga. Wow. You can imagine how ecstatic Rukmini was, and then Narada Muni was. Focusing on Narada Muni, he began to chant and dance in ecstasy, became overwhelmed to have a glimpse, even just a glimpse, of the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Would be indescribably joyful. So he told Narada Muni, you go and you share with all the Prabhus, all the devotees, that I will be descending in Kali Yuga. And the first devotee he visited was Uddhava and Naimisharanga. He was meditating there. And he told him what he had seen in Dwarka. He told him how the Lord would be coming and that he wanted all his devotees to descend to participate. And when Uddhava heard about this glorification of the Lord's lotus feet, he remembered a discussion he had had with Krishna before Krishna left. I might be mixing up manifest and unmanifest Lila, but he remembered the discussion he'd had with Krishna, where Krishna had informed me how you should see me in everything. You can share this message with the gopis. I'm everywhere. I'm in everything. Everything's in me. But he at that time said, those who fully realize this are the ones who have love for his lotus feet. And they are always seeking the mercy of his lotus feet. He said, I've received so much mercy, having honored Mahaprashadam of the Lord. And I've worn the garlands worn by the Lord, the clothes, the scents offered to the Lord, the ornaments, etc. And he said, anyone who honors these things, Mahaprashadam in the form of foodstuffs, garlands, scents, clothing, etc., then they become free of the miseries of material existence and achieve love of God. He was absorbed in this way. And then that got Narada Muni thinking, wait a minute, I haven't gotten Mahaprashadam. I've never gotten the Lord's Mahaprashadam. So he approached Vaikuntha and he served Mother Lakshmi for 12 years. Vishnu had a program with Narayani, Lakshmi. I don't want you giving my Maha to anybody. You can honor, but nobody else. Being his faithful, submissive maidservant, of course, she followed that injunction. But after 12 years, Narada Muni pleased her. She said, oh, what do you want? You've satisfied me so much. Please, let me bless you. Anything you want, I'll give you. What would you like? I'd like a little Mahaprashadam of the Lord. And she realized, oh, what have I done? I promised him I'd fulfill his wish, and now he's asking me to disobey my Prabhu, Lord Vishnu. Said, you wait some time. I will do my very best. Yeah, I think I can get you that mercy. So she served her husband especially nice, and then after some time she brought up, when she thought it was favorable, I have a request to make, my Lord. And she's told her husband that I promised Narada Muni he could have some of your Mahaprashadam. He said, oh, you should not have done this. But since you've promised, you can share with him, but I just don't want to know about it. Do it when I'm not looking. So, when the Lord wasn't looking, she took some of the Mahaprashadam of the Lord and gave it to Narada Muni. He immediately, just like Sarvabhauma, he got it. He'd just arisen from bed. He was a Brahmin, strictest Brahmin, Smarta Brahmin, up until that point. But having become a devotee, when he got the Mahaprashadam, immediately honored it, as did Narada Muni. And he became so filled with the rapture of ecstatic love for the Lord that he chanted, he danced above and beyond the norm. He was just beside himself. And he ended up visiting his brother, Lord Shiva. Compelled by love, Lord Shiva sees him. What in the world's overcome you? What mercy have you received? What's going on? He said, I got the mercy. I got the Mahaprashadam of Lord Vishnu. What? Ecstatic. Where's my share? I didn't save you any. What? I thought you were my friend. What kind of friend is that? Brotherly expression of love? Give me a break. Looking down at his hands, he saw a little tiny bit under his one of the nails. So in his ecstasy, he also hadn't washed his hands. He said, oh, look, I got a little bit here. Give it to me, please. So he gave him just a speck of the Mahaprashadam. Then Lord Shiva became overwhelmed, and he chanted, dance, dance, chanted, dance, practically speaking, almost destroying the world. It says the earth began to sink under the weight, the burden of his dancing. It's explained that Ananta hood was being bent back, forth, back, until it finally touched the shell of Korma at the bottom of the universe, and Korma sticks his head out. What's going on? What's up? Something like that. And he said, Lord Shiva, he's beyond himself. I can't bear the weight of his ecstatic dancing. So Parvati steps in, she intercedes, she chastises him. Wake up, snap out of it. What are you doing? And when he comes to external consciousness, he's very upset with her. Why are you disturbing? I'm so absorbed in chanting. She said, because you were about to destroy the world. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, she said, what overcame you? What's the deal? He goes, well, I got a little bit of Mahaprashadam from Lord Vishnu. Oh, wonderful! Please share it with me, my portion. Oh. I took all of it. It was just a little bit. I took all of it. He said, what kind of husband are you? I thought I was your better half. I thought you actually cared for me. And you could have given me a portion of that little speck, but no. Now I know how you truly feel about me. And Lord Shiva, he then made the wrong move, a little defensive. He said, well, you're the external energy of the Lord. I guess you didn't deserve it. What? I'm known as Vaishnavi. I'm a servant of the Lord. How can you say such things? How can you think like that? She was really upset. And she said, I'm taking a vow that not only will I get the mercy of the Lord, but all conditioned souls will get the mercy of the Lord. Even the dogs, the dog eaters. Everyone will get the mercy. I take this vow. And right then Vishnu comes and he solaces his devotee. Yes, of course you're my devotee. You're my Adya Shakti. I see you as non-different from Radharani. You serve me in a different way. Without your service, how could all these conditioned souls get the chance to become reformed and return back to my eternal service? Yes, I will fulfill your desire that all, even the most fallen, will get my mercy. I will do so by descending in Kali Yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At that time, your desire will be fulfilled. So Narada Muni, he then went to visit his father, Lord Brahma, And he told him what had happened. And Lord Brahma immediately appreciated, Lord Chaitanya. He's aware of Lord Chaitanya. And he started quoting different scriptures. He quoted Garga Muni from the 10th canto, 8th chapter, 13th verse. Your son Krishna appears as an incarnation every millennium. In the past he assumed different colors, red, white, and yellow. Now he's appeared in a blackish color. So then he quoted 11th canto from Karna Bhajana Muni, describing how the Lord appears in all the different yugas, and that Kali Yuga is most fortunate because the Lord himself appears as a Kava avatar, as a devotee of the Lord. Krishna Varna Tusha Krishnam Sangopangasya Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Priyaya Jantihi Sumedasa. In this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he's Krishna himself. He's accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. He quoted the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Ete Chamsa Kalapumsas Krishnas tu Bhagavan Swayam. All the above-mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord, but Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. And, of course, stating that Lord Chaitanya is that same Krishna. From the Vishnu Sahasranam, he said, Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangas Chandranagadi Sanyasa Krichama Santo Nishta Shanti Parayana. When Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears as Sri Gauranga, his complexion is golden, Suvarna. In his early pastimes, his limbs are the color of molten white gold, Hemanga. His body is extremely beautiful, Varangas. He's decorated with sandalwood pulp, Chandranagadi. So this is the early Lila, Grahasta Lila. Then he takes sannyas krich, and shows equanimity, sama, in different ways by describing the mysteries of devotion to Lord Krishna and by satisfying everyone with knowledge and attachment to Krishna. The Lord is peaceful, Santa, because he renounces all topics not related to the service of Krishna. His mind is always fixed, Nishta, in performing Harinam, Sankirtan. He silences those opposed to the Lord's service by teaching pure devotional service. He's the abode of the highest spiritual peace and devotion, Parayana. And he quotes other things. Because of time, I don't think I'll get into it. And there's more. But I'm going to shorten this because I want to share another pastime, if not 1.5 pastimes. So he tells Brahma, please descend, the Lord has asked. Tell all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka. He goes to all the other different demigods. He gives them the word. The Lord wants you to descend and participate in Gauranga Lila. Then he comes down the earthly planet. By now, Kali Yuga has begun. And it's dark. It's degraded. And he sits down meditating in great anxiety and apprehension. Oh, when will the Lord come? When will the Lord come? And he hears a voice from the sky saying, go to Puri. Go see Lord Jagannath. He'll assuage you. So he goes to Jagannath Puri. He sees the Lord. The Lord's so happy to see him. You know, all the ecstatic symptoms are there, the chanting, dancing, feigning, etc. The Lord picks him up, embraces him. He said, you should go to Goloka Vrindavan. There you'll get association with the Lord and in further instruction. So he goes to Vaikuntha, he stops off, then he goes to Goloka, and I'm going to end it there. But the long and short of it is that he got darshan of Lord Chaitanya again in Goloka Vrindavan. The Lord extensively explained his desire to taste the mood of Srimati Radharani, the love of Srimati Radharani, and that he was going to share it with everyone, and he wanted Narada Muni to help him. So that's one of the ways described in how the Lord developed his desire to experience that which he doesn't have, which is impossible for him to understand. He is the Vishaya, the object of the love of his devotees. What to speak of Srimati Radharani? She is the Ashraya. She is the shelter of that love. Krishna has to reciprocate with everybody's love. He can't be single-minded. He can't be laser-focused on just the love of one person like Srimati Radharani or any and all other devotees, giving their all to the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. Simply, everything they do is an expression of their love for the Lord. Single-minded. What is that? Vyavasayatmi abud here. Ekaha kurunandana. Krishna can't have that. But he wanted it. And he explained that to Narada Muni. And he said, go tell him, now's the time, take birth. And so Narada Muni fulfilled that instruction. And there's another time that there's a wonderful pastime where Lord Krishna made Radharani cry, and this is why he had to cry as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. The preface is given that Radharani, she is a left-wing gopi, Vamana gopi, Vamaangi. She's contrary. She can become very angry. She can become sulky. She can become uppity. She can chastise the Lord, etc., etc. Her competition, quote unquote, is Chandravali, and all her followers, they are Dakshina gopis, right wing, submissive. Rukmini's in the mood of the right wing, very submissive. Will do whatever the Lord wants. Tolerates, doesn't fight back. Just takes it as the Lord's love, the mercy of the Lord, however he reciprocates with them. But Krishna likes to see a rise in his devotees. He likes to tease. He likes to bring forth different flavors of loving exchanges. But the right wing can't surpass that mold. So even when Krishna is with Chandravali or any of her servants, he's always thinking of Srimati Radharani. She is, Madan Mohani. She can enchant, the enchanter of Cupid, the bewilderer of all. So even when Krishna is with Chandravali, he's always thinking of Srimati Radharani. And he goes and he fulfills their desires, but in his heart he's only wanting to be with Srimati Radharani. Only she can fully fulfill his desires. So he had a scheduled appointment with Radharani and the 8 Sakhis at the Kunj, the bower of Forest Grove of Radharani. But he was late. And time was going on, and Radharani was becoming more and more anxious. If she'd hear the breeze come through the woods, the trees, she'd think, oh, he's coming. To be crestfallen. That's not Krishna. After a long time of Krishna not coming, they send out a messenger. Go find out where Krishna is. So she goes out searching, and she meets Saibya, a maidservant of Chandravali. And she tells her, oh, Krishna's with my mistress, with Chandravali. So immediately the messenger goes back and tells Lalita and Vishaka, Krishna's with Chandravali. Oh, they become so upset. Vishaka especially is very hard, very strict with Krishna. She can berate him, chastise him mercilessly. So she was extremely upset. So then they go and tell Srimati Radharani, Krishna's with Chandravali. So Radharani, she's thinking, why would Krishna come to me? There's so many other gopis. I'm so ill-fated. I'm so unqualified. Don't let Krishna come. Forbid him entrance into my kunj. No matter what he says or does, don't let him in. So, after having enjoyed the the service of Chandravali, he came. And they go, oh, what do you want? Well, I'm supposed to see Srimati Radharani. Yeah, right. Why'd you spend so much time with Chandravali? Why don't you go back to her? Oh. No excuses. Srimati Radharani said, no entrance. Entrance forbidden. You can't come in. Please, please, let me come before her, fall at her feet, beg her forgiveness. Let me try to make her happy. No. Go away. Get lost. Krishna realizes there's nothing he could do to convince Lila and Vishaka. He couldn't reach Srimati Radharani. She was at the height of her left-wing mood. She was sulking. She was so upset with Krishna. Even when she's personally feeling as if she's going to die because of lack of association and service to Krishna, her pride won't let her. No, that rascal, that lampata, that debauchee. So Krishna, beside himself, goes to the bank of Jamuna and he's rolling around crying. Expression is extreme misery. What can I do? What can I do? I've got to serve her. I've got to break her sulkiness. So Purnamasi shows up. She's Yogamaya personified in Vrindavan. She goes, oh, Krishna, I know what you've done. I can fix this for you. I can help you. Please allow me. She says, Vrinda Devi, come here. So then Vrinda Devi comes and she assesses the situation and she says, you know, nothing you can do can break her mood of anger, of sulkiness. But there is one thing, and if you'll follow my instructions implicitly and do what I say, then there's hope. He said, I'll do anything, anything. Then she says, then you have to give up your golden dress, your Tribhanga form, threefold bending form, your beautiful curly black locks, your peacock feather, and your flute. Get rid of all of them. Take on the dress of a sannyasi, saffron cloth, and sing to Srimati Radharani the song that I'll teach you. Oh, Srimati Radharani, you've developed a sulky mood. You're the crest jewel, the leftist mood. Your whole body is covered with a bluish sari. The complexion of your body is that of molten gold. Up to now, Radharani was mad for Krishna. Prem. She was stealing the mind of Krishna. O Gandharvake, you were stealing the mind of Krishna, enchanting him with your beautiful form and qualities. But today, Krishna is moving from door to door, begging Radha Prem, begging Radha Prem, begging for Radha Prem. So Krishna learned the song. He took on a golden complexion as a sannyasi, shaved head, immediately assumed this form. And he went to the Kunj singing this song, and Lalita and Vishaka heard this. Oh, wow, what a beautiful song. Who are you? Oh, I'm a sannyasi bhikshu, a sannyasi beggar. Oh, what do you come to beg? I've come to beg for Radha Prem. Oh, such a beautiful song. Our mistress would love this song. But she's very disturbed right now. It's almost as if she's ready to die. Are you able to read fortunes? Can you read lines on the palm to tell us what the fate of our Pranasaki will be, the mistress of our life? I said, sure, I can do that. How do you know? How do you know this art? I learned it from my guru. Same guru I learned the song. Who's your guru? Gandharvika. Gandharvika? Yes, Radha's my guru. She's taught me the song. She's taught me the ability to know one's fate. Well then please, come in. And while coming in, he's singing the song. And Radha in a cottage, she hears the song. She becomes thoroughly attracted. And she, in hearing this song, begging for the mercy, she thinks of Ashlisha va paratam patastama madarshanam tokarotava yatatata va vidadata lampato mat pranatis to save an opera. No matter what that lampata debauchee Krishna does, can brace me tightly or make me brokenhearted by not being present before me, only He will always remain the Lord of my life. Only He. I am always His. So They convince her, please come out, meet this sannyasi. He'll read your palm. So she comes out and she's wearing her sari, the veil over her face. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know how to read palm lines, but I can tell her fate by the lines on her forehead. Well, she never looks at any male but Krishna. No, it's okay, I'm a sannyasi. I have no desire, I'm desireless. I'm not, I'm no ordinary male. I'm a sannyasi. Takes some time, but he finally convinces him, and so she slowly removes her veil and looks into his eyes. And as soon as Krishna's eyes meet with Radharani's eyes, the glance, then immediately he changes into threefold bending form Krishna with the flute, Shama Sundar color, embraces her and breaks the anger and sulkiness of Srimati Radharani. But because of that pastime, Vishaka, she basically told Krishna, you forced our Pranasaki to cry, 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 and cry, cry. You're going to have to cry for in the same way. And to fulfill that admonishment of Vishaka, Lord Chaitanya appeared as a sannyasi, crying for Krishna, feeling the same pain, the same separation, same complete surrender and the highest pitch of love for Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, we heard yesterday Prabhupada say he's always in the mood of Srimati Radharani. But actually it's not an absolute statement. He didn't get to fulfill that desire in Navadvip. He was often showing his godhood, his identity as Krishna and avatars, fulfilling the desires of his devotees, letting them know everything's okay, I've descended to save the conditioned souls. And even in Vrindavan, when he had gone to Puri as a sannyasi and he went to Vrindavan, all the inhabitants there, the cows, the cuckoos, everyone, they all saw him as Krishna. They had that attraction for him. So he was in the mood of Krishna, reciprocating lovingly with them, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So he couldn't really fully fulfill his desire to taste the mood of Srimati Radharani. But in Jagannath Puri, in the last years of his life, primarily staying in the company of Srup Damodar, who is Lalita, and Ramananda Roy, who is Vishaka, they nourished that desire of Lord Chaitanya. Always supporting it, singing the slokas, singing the songs that would embellish his moods of separation from Srimati Radharani. Even in the company of Gadadhar, it wouldn't be the same. Because Gadadhar is Radha and always thinks of Chaitanya as her Lord. So, in the company of those two, in the Gambhira, as we heard in the purport, he got to fulfill his desire. Became a madman, like Radharani when she was hearing Uddhava's message and speaking to the messenger bee. So that's one way in which Lord Chaitanya became mad after Krishna. Another way is one time Radharani had a dream, a wonderful dream. I can't believe it. It looked like Vrindavan, but it wasn't Vrindavan. It looked like the Jamuna, but it wasn't the Jamuna. And everybody there was singing and dancing like they do in Vrindavan, but they were playing drums and kartals, chanting your names. And I saw this golden Brahmin, so beautiful, long black hair, chanting sometimes Krishna, Krishna, sometimes Radha, Radha. And I couldn't understand, is this Krishna or is this me? This is the most wonderful dream. And she said, you know, Krishna, because of the unsteadiness of men, they can never understand the happiness and experiences of loving pastimes like women can. Krishna said, I'll always be able to understand your inner feelings by one special form of mine. Radharani didn't believe him. You're lying. You're telling lies. He said, no, I'm speaking the truth. Then show me that form. And that's the form she had seen in the dream of Gauranga. So he thought a while and he chuckled. And then this Kaustuba gem, which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says is the pure consciousness of the living entities in their affectionate mellow of love for Krishna, began to shine brightly, and then it manifests for the vision of Srimati Radharani, the dream that she had had. And then she said, now I can understand why you are laughing. You are that Brahman, and I'm that Brahman. The two of us combined. My complexion, my mood, but it's you. And you'll drown the whole universe in ecstatic love, an ocean of ecstatic love. And she quoted Gargamuni from the 10th canto speaking to Nanda Maharaj. So she said, and it's confirmed by Shastra. You appear in white, red, and yellow forms beside Sham. So I know it's true. The dream's true, and Kaustuba Muni has confirmed it. So anyone who drinks the nectar of these Leelas of the Lord, this pastime dream, they'll understand the true identity of Lord Chaitanya. Shri stands for Radha. Krishna, we know that. Krishna. Chaitanya stands for consciousness, pure consciousness, which means Krishna praying. So that's what and who Lord Chaitanya is. That's the gift that they're offering us. We simply need to sincerely follow the instructions of Guru Parampara. Worship Lord Chaitanya, knowing He's the only way, He and His associates are the only way in which we can hope to get a particle of mercy, to be given that priceless gift. And until that day arrives, we will continue to chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And to do so in purified consciousness, we always begin with Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Thank you for your patience and your attention. Does anybody want to make any quick comment? Tapas, does anybody have a question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam. So we have a question from Madhusudhan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Marus.
He said, Brahma came and assisted Lord Chaitanya as Haridas Thakur. Did Lord Shiva come and assist?
Yes, he is Advaita Acharya, Sadashiva.
I have a question too. Who is Narada Muni in the Chaitanya Lila?
He's Srivas Thakur.
Thank you.
These things are inconceivable because all forms of the Lord are eternal. They never have a beginning. But the Leelas manifest ways in which our tiny brains might be able to appreciate some conception of them, some impression of them, until the love is reawakened so we can appreciate. I asked one time Jayapataka Swami, so we have the Leela of Narada Muni as the Shudrani, the son of a Shudra. Then he became Narada Muni. Narada Muni becomes Srivas, but I have this feeling, this conviction that Narada Muni is eternal, or Srivas Thakur is eternally associating with Lord Chaitanya. Would this be a correct understanding? He said yes. So the form of the Lord, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, eternally existing, and all his associates are eternally existing with him. Soon, the 4th of April, it'll be his appearance day, and we'll get to hear some more of the glories of Srivas. But that's who Narada Muni appears in Gaura Lila as. Madhus, were you satisfied with the question, with the answer?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Madhusudhan Prabhu is not on the Zoom call, but he said in the YouTube chat, thank you.
I tried to be short because of the time. So thank you once again. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ke, Shri Panchatattva ke, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ke, Samaveda Gaura Bhaktavrinda ke, Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna.